Welcome back, everybody. It's been quite a long time. I realized that. I said I was going to make more videos, and then I got bogged down with a whole bunch of other kind of normal life kind of stuff. So, anyway, back on track. I've decided what I'm going to do with the 87 show. I'm going to make that more of a conceptual idea. Things that don't particularly pertain to my layout. More concepts, ideas, or just things I need to rant about will go there. It'll be kind of my editorial page for this here YouTube channel. Now, as for the layout updates, they're just going to be standalone. As I'm getting back into it, I have done a lot of work here. I'll be putting those things out, try to get that out on a weekly basis like I used to when I first started shooting, just handheld with the phone, and here's what I did, guys. So, that's how this stuff is going to be split from now on. Hopefully it'll mean more content since I don't have to go through all that stuff to put together an entire show. I can just put together a 5 or 10 minute update video. If I'm doing something that week, I'll make a video about it. Up it goes. Everybody gets something to watch, and we can all watch this layout grow. So anyway, sit back and watch the update, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.
It's been a long time since my last update, but progress has continued on the layout nonetheless. I kept going with the scenery between Harlan Street and the brewery, adding pavement made with DAP vinyl cement patch following a similar method used by Ken Patterson on his layout. It turned out so well that I wish I'd used it instead of Sculptamold in other areas. Fortunately, there is a great deal of paving left to do, so I should be getting these good results on most of the railroad. With the pavement down, I finished most of the basic ground cover for 2 more modules, which freed me up to tackle the smaller of the 2 Myrtle Place yard sections. While I was waiting to get the I-25 bridge done before starting all of this, I realized that I could easily put whatever parts of the bridge I needed to into the scene later as it was built. And there isn't much to displace when that time comes, so I took the plunge. The track was painted and a minimal amount of paving was done to represent where Zuni Street was severed by the yard expansion. After that, bits of pull-apart grass and sifted dirt were added about a foot at a time, using methods I previously described, and in about a week I had all 6 linear feet of it done. I spent the weekend assembling and painting some Rick's guardrails to block the ends of the street, and then it was time to prep the next section. This section required a bit more planning and some heavy cutting. After a bit of research and finding that there is just no easy way to do it, I decided to make an operating rotary coal dumper for the Zuni power plant. Making the problem worse, I'm scratch building, as the closest thing to what I'm trying is the Walters wood chip dumper, and I find that too large and not easily powered. So if it's going to be challenging, then I might as well make it unique as well. I'll likely be making a build series on that as the parts and design come together, so stay tuned. In the meantime, something has to stand in its place without requiring a complete tear out later on. With this in mind, I added 4 mounting points using T-nuts so that the finished operating model could be installed from underneath later, while a simple piece of the original benchwork sits in its place until then. The dump house can then be built to mask this cutout and integrated into the scenery, since any further modification will take place from underneath. As for other structural elements on this section, they will be much easier to build and integrate compared to the dumper, so I don't think I'll have to wait much longer to get scenery going here. That said, there's still some actual groundwork to do. I managed to get the hard shell in place for the riverbanks, and there are some small changes to make to the bridge as well, but it won't be long before we see something here, so be on the lookout.
Alright, that's it for this show. Be on the lookout for not only model railroad updates, but something that I'm doing is going to be its own little special project, kind of going to do a build series on this. So I'll announce that probably the next couple of videos. And until then, thanks for watching. See you on the next video.